our most recent conversation about this. If you've been listening, you've probably heard it, but we like it so much. So Esther is in her Southern California home, and she meditates and all of the things that we're talking about. She's very consistent in that. And so one morning she came out of meditation completely in the receptive mode, and the impulse that came to her was to go to her remote that operates her televisions in the house and her sound systems and figure it out. She had not ever been able to figure it out, but she had that impulse, and the impulse was so strong and it felt like such a good idea that she sat down, and in what felt like a miraculous experience, she understood it. She understood it. It just made sense, and she laughed about how easy it really was. And so she's looking at the menu on the television, looking for some music that she wants to hear, and she's finding different music stations, and she discovered that she could play anything she wanted in any of the zones in the house. Inside the house, outside the house, in the courtyard, on the verandas, out in the gardens, and there's speakers everywhere. And now Esther has control of what they do. And so she's moving through it and having a really good time, and then she found a station, rap. And she just felt this strong urge to just stay there. And even while she had the urge to stay there, she's thinking, how odd is this, and how fun is this? So she listened and listened and listened and listened and heard and began moving. She really liked it. She listened and listened and listened and listened, and then she turned it all off and went on with her day, left the house. The next day she got up, meditated as she always does. Coming out of meditation, she had this indescribable urge to move furniture around in her house, which is not logical because every piece has been placed so carefully. Purchased for the spot, in fact, most of it. But it all looked wrong. She thought, I need to move it all, but it's heavy. I need someone to help me. So she got on the internet and found 2 men in a truck, and she called them and said, I need 2 men. Don't need a truck, but I need 2 men. They can bring the truck, but I really just need 2 men. They can bring their truck, but I don't need their truck because we're not moving anything far. And they could come right over. So 2 men come over, and they're moving things around and having a really good time, and Esther is really enjoying them. They're so strong and careful and fun and deliberate and beautiful. And so Esther's talking about what a beautiful day it is, and they are too. And then one of them says, I'm leaving. I'm going back to Alabama. And Esther said, why? And he said, because I am a rapper, and I'm not getting anything going here, but I had some stuff going there, so I'm going to go back to where it's going. And Esther said, hang on a minute. So she went in, got her remote, pushed some buttons, and now at full volume in every zone, rap is happening. So she went back out into the room where they were, and his eyes are very big. He said, who are you? What do you do? And Esther said, I'm a teacher. And he said, what do you teach? And Esther said, rap. And then she admitted no. And then they got talking about how whatever you want can come to wherever you are, that the universe is awash with opportunities for you. She gave him books and CDs and conversations, and most of all, belief in him. So when you think about it, you know all of that was in Esther's vortex. Nothing she wants more than to be in a situation where she can influence someone toward their own well-being, and nothing he wanted more than to not leave San Diego. Nothing he wanted more than to be able to follow his dream right where he was. And you got to know, his inner being knew what his path of least resistance was. It was Esther. And Esther's inner being knew what her path of least resistance was. It was rap. It was the music. It was the music. It was the speakers. It was moving furniture around. They actually moved all the furniture back to where it was. It wasn't about moving the furniture. It wasn't about the furniture being moved. It was about moving the furniture. It wasn't about the creation. It was about the creating. You sort of getting what we're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So your inner being knows where all your paths are. And here's the thing that sometimes, and this really is the answer to the question that you said here. Sometimes you're inspired to greater clarity about something. So it's like your inner being is inspiring you right into the hornet's nest, so to speak, that causes the launching of a desire and greater clarity. Because if you don't know what you want, you cannot focus upon it. So your life is showing you what you want over and over and over again. That's step one, you asking. But step two is taken care of. That's the vortex. That's your inner being. That's law of attraction. Step two, ask and it is given. It's done vibrationally. But you got to do step three. You got to get somewhere in the vicinity of the receptive mode. And when you do, you'll start receiving. And that receiving, not just for the sake of getting from over here to over there, but for the fun of dancing from here to there, over and over and over again on lots of different subjects. For the thrill of the movement, for the thrill of the dance, for the thrill of the thought, for the thrill of the co-creation, for the thrill of the ideas, for the thrill of the confirmation, for the thrill of the compounding of who you are, for the thrill of the influence of your source within you, and then your source within you influencing outward toward others. In other words, we are all in this together, you see. And everyone has come to have a really good time. Life is supposed to feel good to you.